Is he gonna stay natty?
To answer your question, yes.
Because he just came out with an interview on a flagrant.
You would go natty?
Yes.
So are you going natty? That's it?
Yes.
Okay, what do you think about that?
I think that Liver King had an opportunity here to do some really good things in the mainstream to raise awareness for testosterone replacement therapy, testosterone deficiency.
Well, my question to you is, would you be willing to go natty now?
Or
Just to fight for the rights of men to have rights to their own hormones, just like women have.
he could be a leader. He could come forward and be a leader for men's hormonal optimization.
To promote the ancestral tenets even further and say, look, I use this. Now look, I'm just doing this, and I might not be as ripped, but I feel great. I have a family that loves me, everything, you know what I mean?
Keep in mind, every one of us on this podcast is about to get on steroids very soon. I mean that 100%.
I'm gonna do peptides.
Bare minimum
1,000%.
peptides. Bare minimum peptides. But
So disappointing. I was like, when I heard that, I was like, so you got caught. It's clear that you wouldn't have stopped doing this. Everybody knows you wouldn't. Right. So you basically took the lowest way out of this. You're like, okay, I'm a liar. I won't lie again. I made a mistake about lying. Believe me, even though I'm being charismatic while I'm saying this, but I'm a liar, and I won't do it again. You guys don't like this? I shouldn't have done this. I won't do it again.
I believe so deeply in this message and the 9 ancestral tenets and the ancestral living.
So you don't do what you believe in and what you want to do.
What's he gonna do with the stockpiles of steroids and growth hormone? Gonna give it away to friends? No, don't do that. You need it. You need it. It makes you feel good. It makes you look good.
If you wanted to live that way, the way to be honest is to say I want, or tell them why you're stopping. Why are you stopping? If you don't want to influence people poorly, you can say this is unhealthy. I do it because I'm, in his case, maybe depressed. Maybe it's affected. He said he's suicidal, and maybe.
And when asked if I've ever taken steroids, I've always said no. I don't touch the stuff. Not gonna touch the stuff. Never touch the stuff. That was a lie.
You can maintain the physique he has with a very small amount of steroids that have a minimal impact on health. What would have been much better is like, I'm gonna change my steroid protocol to be as healthfully and as optimized as possible. I'm gonna follow doctor recommendations, whatever. He goes natty, his physique is gonna fall apart because yes, he can maintain that physique if he's just in his house grinding every day, his life revolves around, but he's getting older and he's traveling more. And you can't maintain that physique when he's traveling.
Yeah, but I was
Without
just saying,
steroids.
I was just saying you could say I'm choosing this for a performance benefit to live a better life or because it makes me feel better mentally. But you could also say, you know what? I mean, if this wasn't a lie, you could say the reason why I reached out to this coach is because I wanted to know how to use these things. And eventually I discovered, which he probably did discover, that you can do it in a healthier way. Mm-hmm. And maybe he wants to also promote not healthy steroid use, but reducing harm reduction, and talk about some of the benefits, not maybe about longevity and stuff like that, but about for people's well-being. Some people are willing to live shorter lives but have a more vigorous and fun life. And maybe they have the right also to make that choice. But especially when this hormone was like criminalized in countries, whereas estrogen and progesterone are not, right?
To answer your question, yes.
you would go natty?
Yes.
So are you going natty? That's it?
Yes.
He's feeding into the taboo. Now he's saying, oh, you're right. It was unhealthy. It was a mistake. I'm sorry. No, it's not a mistake. You're trying to save people from depression and suicide. And we know that testosterone deficiency is a major cause of this problem. You had the opportunity, if that was your priority, you had the opportunity to come forward and at least mention that part of it.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't know if I could say it's a major cause of it, but I can tell you, having been depressed myself before and taken testosterone during those times, that it could be life-saving for some people. And some people, just it could really dramatically improve their quality of living. But not to be an advocate for it, but since you do use it and you believe in using it in your own life, so are you stopping using it because are you regretting lying, or are you regretting people knowing you use these drugs? But anyway,
the question I would have asked Liver King is, if you could go back in time, would you never have taken steroids? And unfortunately, I think he would say,
no.
I shouldn't have ever taken steroids. Now that's a complete lie. Because anybody I know who had access to good quality steroids and peptides and who had some access to knowledge on how to use them properly loves it, and they would never come off, and they would never give it up.
No, some will give it up for health reasons, but you know, the other day when we were talking about which drugs do we love, and I said, you said you love steroids, I said, but I love testosterone. What I meant was not that I regret taking steroids. Even though the tren and stuff harm me, I learned so much about my body taking them. And the feeling was something I'm happy, maybe I wouldn't have taken tren or whatever, but I'm happy I did that in my 20s. It added value overall to my life. I may not have thought the same way if I died, to be honest, but at least with what I know, what happened to my body, I'm happy with it. But testosterone I love. you know. So I agree with the sentiment though. There's really nobody who took steroids like I mean, there's really rare that's like I wish I never did that.
Yeah, well, what happens is that
I mean, except people who are dying.
we talk to a lot of people behind the scenes who are on steroids, and to the public, they lie. This is common. Like, this is kind of weird to me that the coach outs the client, and like all the clients are fake natties out in the public. Like, this is a common thing. But if you ask any of these fake natties or anybody who says publicly, "Oh, steroids are bad," you ask them behind the scenes, they'll be like, "I love steroids and I'm never gonna stop." That's usually what they'll say.
Yeah, a lot of people say that about testosterone, TRT also, like above natural testosterone.
Name is Liver King, not to try and promote this guy. It's because liver is king. You need to be eating liver every fucking day.
So he's saying his name is Liver King because liver is king. I didn't even know you had that pitch. Not criticizing, but liver is a very valuable animal food, and it would help probably a lot of vegans to eat a little bit of liver. But it's good that we know why liver is healthy, and it's not like you can't get the nutrients in liver from other supplements. You can get choline, you can get different kinds of vitamin A, you can get zinc, you can get copper, you can get a lot of things even from other foods. So liver is very nutrient dense, and I think it's healthy as well, generally, even with the iron content. But to say liver is king and you have to eat liver, that's not true, really, right? You don't have to. You could take other supplements, and it's interesting because he sells a desiccated liver supplement, which is sort of a I mean, some people like attach this idea that anything in nature is by definition better for you, and it is a good heuristic to use in that things in nature we're usually adapted to, but we mostly know why we would want liver. And we've mentioned before that Liver King eats a lot of liver. He eats liver amounts or liver in the amounts that could cause toxicity levels with certain things. So I thought we would just comment on that.
Hard to say liver is king when you just need a little bit every day, and there's so many alternatives. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of other things that I think could be king more than liver.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard. Like, it's easy to get what you need out of liver from supplements, but it's actually quite difficult for even scientists to know why certain berries seem to be so healthy. They have so many different chemicals, and in those cases, people like really the berry is king.
Here comes the berry king.
Yeah.
That's actually not how it all happened.
Oh, I want to hear the whole story.
Yeah, the way that it happened is my kids couldn't breathe. My kids had such severe health issues that they were taking ambulance trips to the hospital.
Holy shit.
And so we had been to 5, 6, 7, 8 different fucking doctors, all the same solutions, all the same bullshit, more EpiPens, more Benadryl, more allergy shots. Meanwhile, they can't fucking breathe.
Rockefellers, right?
All the fucking way, 100%. But this is what ends up happening is like, as a fucking dad, how much of that shit are you going to put up with?
100%.
At some point you got to say, I'm not going to allow this to happen anymore. And so I just continue to research and find ways, and I found this way. I found the way of ancestral living. Like, who would have known? The way that we've lived for millions of years are still the ways that we fucking need to express robust health and happiness. And so we started trying it. We cut out all the processed foods that you guys are trying to trick me into eating right now.
There's a positive side to this. Regarding kids, the biggest issue with kids' development is protein content in the diet. I have a video about this, that your parents lied to you about what you should eat. It really wasn't vegetables. I mean, not that you shouldn't eat them, but the protein quantity and quality of protein in terms of amino acids, really meats in early life and eggs really promote not only linear growth in children, their height, and is the main reason increased, like reduction in eating grains and increased ability to eat meats is the main reason Europeans' average heights increased so much in the last century and a half. But it's not just your height, it's also your brain capacity. All of this stuff gets influenced by how much protein you have, how much growth factors you have in early life. If you ever are going to eat a lot of protein, you want to do it in very early life, including mothers may want to take protein shakes for their kids when they're pregnant. I'm talking about kids may consider taking protein shakes or meats, and there's very much reason to think that they need also the resources in organ meats if they're not supplementing a lot.